Hey everyone, God's Progressive here. This is going to be a, I guess, a response to this Jesus freak thing. Uh, and I think everyone by now knows what I'm particularly referring to. Jesus freak, 777. He made a video where he was asked a question saying if you knew God exists and God was real and he was verifiable and it wasn't a delusion, would you? He asked you to kill your kid. Would you kill your kid? And he said, "I hope I would have the faith to do so." And that elicited responses, particularly from Mrs. Superfly, who very upset, and he said he'd call CPS, and then now I think he actually called CPS. Uh, now, now here's my view on this. I think you have to put everything in context, right? So let's talk about the question at hand. Jesus Freak was asked a question by someone. The question is a hypothetical. The question is undoubtedly a hypothetical. So there's that. But he was asked the question, um, would you kill your kid if God asked you to, if you knew it wasn't a delusion and you knew God was real? And Jesus freak responded. Um, he said he'd hope he'd have the faith to do so if if he was asked by God to do so. Um, now, here's the thing. First of all, question is a total hypothetical, right? Total hypothetical, which means that it's a bullshit question, basically, right? Second thing, if we take the part about it being a hypothetical out of the equation, if we sort of ask what this question is asking, um, the premise makes no sense. I mean, the premise of this question is the the answer could only follow if the premise of this question is true, meaning that Jesus Freak 777, meaning that Jesus Freak would have to no he's not delusional, or he's not hallucinating or whatever, and this is really happening, and that it's really God, and that God exists and it is real, right? On what fucking planet could anyone ever live up to that standard? On what fucking planet could those two premises be met successfully? How does one know when you're having a delusion versus when it's reality? How does one separate delusion from reality? You don't know you're having a delusion if you're delusional. So it's a silly, stupid premise that you can never prove anyway. It's it's a silly, stupid question that you can never prove. You don't know if you're being delusional. If you're delusional, you think that's the reality. That's why it's called being delusional. I mean, so to say that you can prove it's not delusional is nonsense. You can't prove your delusion is real. You can't prove your delusion is real, particularly when you're delusional, and particularly if you're someone like Jesus Freak, who's prone to delusions since he believes in this God. How how do you prove your delusions aren't delusions, particularly when you believe in delusions already? You can't. So the question is just you'll never meet the premises of that question. The premises of this question will never be met because you can't prove that you're not having a delusion. Secondly, if God is real and if God exists, well, no one's ever fucking proved that. Mean, so he's gonna have to do something that no one's done in 2,000 fucking years. I mean, come on. This question is total bullshit. It's a bullshit question. So, this could never happen. And he entertains it. He entertains what I perceive to be a bullshit question that I would never answer to, that I would never even entertain. I would never even entertain a question like that. I'd be like, your question is bullshit. But he entertains the question. He entertains this question, and he answers like, he answers like, and here we get into this thing: is he answering like a true question, or is he answering like what he perceives, what he thinks he should answer like? I think in reality he would not kill his kid. Uh, I think in reality he would not kill his kid. I think that's why he gave that answer. I'd hope I'd have faith, to do such a thing. Uh, I think that's why he gave that answer, which I perceive to be a bullshit answer. Because if you're truly faithful, then you wouldn't hesitate. You'd be like, yes, I'd kill my kids. He said, I'd hope. He's trying to split the difference. I'd hope I'd have enough faith to do so. I mean, he's trying to, he's trying to split the fucking difference. He doesn't want to talk about, he's not really trying to answer it. He's trying to say, well, I don't want to kill my kid, but if God asked me to, well, maybe I would, maybe, probably not. But I know I'm not supposed to say that because I'm a Christian, so I'll give this, I'll hope I'll have faith, nonsensical answer, you know? So, again, the question is bullshit, his response is bullshit. And now we have people that are very upset about this, and I just don't get it. Like, I'm just perplexed. I don't get why everyone's upset about this. I mean, again, it's a bullshit answer, and he didn't even commit to whether he'd kill his kid, which to me suggests that he wouldn't. He didn't even commit to it. He's like, oh, well, maybe, sorta, kind of, I don't know. If I have faith in God, I put my hands together and pray about it, maybe. Like, that's what his fucking answer was. That's not a fucking answer. That's him trying to thread the needle. He's basically trying to talk around the question. So, these responses is just weird. It's just weird. Everyone's all outraged, and Superfly got all mad, and he called CPS apparently. It's like, come on, dude. Really? He's like, I'm really mad. Well, were you not paying attention? Like, his question was bullshit. His question was bullshit, and his response is equally bullshit. And so I don't know why anyone is even paying attention to this shit. It's just nonsense. Why is anyone even paying attention to him? And why are people legitimately calling CPS? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get why it is pertinent to call Child Protective Services. Now, people are going to say, oh, well, he's made other statements in the past and blah, 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 blah. Well, like I said, his answer is bullshit and suggests that he would not do that. That is the point, okay? So you're overreacting to him even merely saying, oh, I don't know. Him saying, absolutely not, under any fucking circumstances. I die before I let my kid get burned. If he doesn't give that response, it's absolutely outrageous. Which, okay, maybe you have a point. But I believe that Jesus Freak is answering a question from someone who follows him, right? And he doesn't want to say no because that makes him maybe it makes him seem like less of a fucking Christian. Because the response is, if God tells you to do something, you fucking do it. You don't ask questions. You don't. You don't ask questions. You just follow orders. Strict obedience. That's what God demands more than anything else. Strict obedience and belief in me. That's what He demands. And if you are seen as questioning that in any sort of way, it sort of questions how much of a Christian you are. Okay? It does. It sort of questions how much of a Christian you are. If you're not willing to do what God says, how much of a Christian are you? How good of a Christian are you? I mean, seriously. How good of a Christian are you if you're not willing to do whatever God fucking says, right? God says kill your kid. If you don't kill your kid, you're disobeying God inherently. That seems pretty obvious. So that's why He gave that ridiculous answer. That, oh, I hope I have faith in God to do that, you know. That's why He gave that bullshit answer. And, I saw his reply. And, I don't believe that. He was talking about, oh, I was pretending like I was going back to before, before Jesus gave the eternal sacrifice. And we don't need to give sacrifices anymore. And I was, well, you know what? Here's the thing, dude. That's also a bullshit answer because He answered it in the present form. He didn't clarify when He answered. He just said, "I hope I would have faith to do such a thing." Because if He would have said that, He would have said, "Well, are we talking about pre or post sacrifice? If you're talking about post sacrifice days, I don't understand why God would ask me to do that because we don't need to sacrifice people anymore. We don't need to sacrifice things anymore." But He didn't do that, okay? So his response is bullshit, okay? His response is bullshit. He's clearly trying to cover up his tracks. This whole controversy is nonsense, okay? No one should be calling CPS because, like I said, that question was bullshit and so is his fucking answer. And his response to the controversy was bullshit too, okay? So there's no reason for anyone to be calling CPS. We're just being sanctimonious just to be sanctimonious. There's no reason behind it. 'Cause I saw, Superfly's, like, he did like a 20-minute video and he was talking about Jesus Priest believes in this and believes in that and believes in this and all these things are horribly offensive and blah blah blah. Listen, it's like, really, really, you called CPS because Jesus Freak thinks homosexuality is evil? Really? I mean, come on. Come on. Who does he think he's fine with that? I mean, who's he? I mean, really, you called you called Child Protective Services on Jesus Freak because he thinks homosexuality is a sin? Really, really? Come on, nonsense, nonsense. I don't believe that, and I don't believe he believes that. I mean, you're just you. I think he might have been upset at the fact that Jesus Freak even entertained the idea. But, he shouldn't be. And he's getting overtly self righteous about shit that doesn't matter. He gave a bullshit response to a bullshit question, and that's it. And that's all it was. And people need to not get, bent out of shape over it. I mean, he does this shit all the time, and now you're gonna call CPS? I mean, now you're gonna call the authorities? I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's just bullshit. I mean, it's just, I keep saying it, but it's just like, come on. I mean, seriously? I mean, they're much, 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 much bigger fish to fry than fucking Jesus Freak. And this fake outrage, this self-righteous indignation over a fake question and a fake response is utter nonsense. I'll talk to everyone later. God's progressive. Peace.